Okay, I'm going to check to make sure I am actually recording. Okay, good. With the amount of technical difficulties I've had lately, from stuff on my accounts, like my X account, which I made a post about on my YouTube posts thingy, to like my actual computer in various forms, to yeah, like the 40 something minutes of video the other day that were just blank. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I was actually recording and that I was actually getting my voice. Let's get our mascot for the day going. Uh, let's find one that's appropriate. Yeah, this seems about right. This is about how I feel right now. I'm not feeling too good. Anyway, we'll try to stay positive in light of everything. So I worked on 236. This is 236. Whenever I got to here, I didn't really know how to handle having one of these nested within itself. There's not really another symbol that I can use that would really make sense, and I didn't want to add any other symbols because I didn't want to make it appear like it's its own family of notation whenever the entire point, like its own family of nesting, whenever the entire point is like it's outside of the current hierarchy of nesting. I contemplated having it be purely contextual, which would mean having this like doing this, yeah. Like my first version of this was to just have it right here and leave it at that. But then I realized that if there's some need to have identity within these things going forward, I'll need to have some measure of identifying even them. So maybe as I put on the note here, maybe I'll compromise on that later. Maybe I won't. If I do, I'll figure out a workaround. I think I had to make a new template, at least one. This right here to have a nice compact version. So you can look. Um, yeah, and I honestly I should just take this. I think this is even more compact. I could be wrong, but on that. But if you check it out, like that is just this, right? Like, do you see how much more compact that is? It's just a severe compaction of that. I want to continue having like the blown out version uh, of all of these really, in case that serves better for some reason. I'm probably going to have to get, and yeah, over here I did the 90-degree clockwise rotations. Um, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. If I have to, I'll figure out a different way to go with that, like to manage that. But anyway, I don't know how long today's session is going to be. For now, we've got just 237 and 238 ahead of us, which um yeah, it actually looks like this is going to come in handy a lot sooner than I thought. Um this right here, I mean, specifically. Uh the thing I'll need to do is get rid of all of this. I don't need this stuff for now. I'll keep 236 in keeping with the. I don't really want to call it a tradition per se, and I'm gonna expand the canvas a little more left, a little more westward. I'll leave our mascot right there, but we're gonna move this way over here. I'll just have it there for scalping parts from, basically, if I need them. I don't like that the zoom is not really smooth. I'd rather that the zoom was smoother than that, but whatever. It's a Paint 3D thing. I guess I just can't really get around that. So what we need now is, so if I'm reading this right, this is another, so it's Q implies R implies Q or P implies P or R. So that'd be Q or P. Yeah, so I'd really only need one of these little boxes. But this goes to show, like, the compaction that I'm talking about, where it's like, this is sort of a necessary thing. As these go on, they're going to get more and more complex, and I need to eventually be able to compact them, like, a lot. So, despite my not very great mood, we'll try to make the best of things. So, that obviously needs to stay there. What I'd like to do is get these, pop that off, paste it up here, scalp that, put it over here. And then I need the imply symbol, and I need uh, the disjunction 2228, 2283. Okay. And I mean, like I said, I kind of need to, as things go forward, compact as much as possible, because these are going to get very, very complicated by the end of the book. You know? Okay, so that's 3 deep. So I'll need these 3. Excellent. Copy paste. Move these up a little bit so it doesn't look so bad. Okay, copy paste. Move this over here since it's further away. It's bugging out a bit because of the size of the meta chart. It's fine. Okay. Move this up here. And then it's Q implies R implies Q Q or P implies P or R. Okay. So we'll leave that there, the QR. I guess what I could do is, if I wanted to keep things as compact as possible, which I kind of do, and make like another really compact template, which again I really do actually. because I can't stress enough that these need to start being smaller, not just because not just because it's a matter of, say, like, um, I know it's a strange thing to maybe consider, but because it's a matter of time, like it shortens just how much time it takes to make these if they're physically smaller. Well, you know what I mean, if they're spatially smaller, I should say. But it also helps with visual acuity. Like the smaller it is, the easier it is to glance at it and immediately get what's going on. But again, on top of that, it's a matter of the stuff gets really complicated later on, and I need to be able to have tiny, tiny boxes. And I think this is the point at the graphing, like the stage of graphing, where hopefully people, I don't know if you'd call them readers, but people who are like going through them can go, okay, I get that this is just the same thing but tinier, right? Like this is the tiny version of this. So just to ensure that that's correct, that's Q implies R, Q or P, P or R. Okay. Now, the weird thing with this is that this has sil and perm and sum as like a tag under it. Um, I guess I'll explain that in the note. I might make this a twofer actually. That would be kind of exciting. I know this all sounds like something very strange to say. That's exciting, but I feel like that actually would be kind of exciting. I'm gonna do the bold thing of taking one of these ends, and because I'm kind of sick of uh these tips not having the same thickness as the like ends of the graphs themselves. I just kind of don't like that. I know it's a little lumpy looking, but I don't really care. And then the assertion sign. I mean, I even opened, if this looks a lot more blank, it's because I opened it and it randomly turned all of the special characters into freaking kanji, into Japanese kanji, which was like, after, it wasn't that it was a big deal, it's just that after all the crap I've dealt with over the past couple days, it was like, come on, man, really? It just felt like kicking a dude when he's that dude being me, like kicking a dude when he's down, kind of thing. It's like, come on. Really? Like, is that really necessary, guys? It just felt like that. I'm gonna copy and paste this twice. Gonna undo that paste because that was really borked. But copy and paste this twice because I'm gonna need it for the second one. And yeah, I think I will do a twofer. I think it's exciting, the idea of doing a twofer. But this is absolutely going to be a template, and I'm going to eventually start like, so for instance, where's the one that's basically this, but okay, like uh where was it, this one? Because I mean this is just the same thing but bigger. I'm keeping all of my old meta charts, right? So as I make more condensed templates of stuff, I'm going to phase out the old ones. That's basically how that's going to work. Okay, and the next one is, um, see, I don't know how often it happens that they put like sil perm sum like at the bottom of something like that. I'm not sure if that's some kind of weird typographical thing, like if it was supposed to be on the right hand side, if you get what I'm saying. Because they've done that before, where it's like a right hand thing. I'm going to include that in the graph, that note. I might even take a picture on my phone of the page and put that in here. I think I'll do that. Like I'll just break and put that in here because it's kind of hard to describe how it looks exactly. Uh, but yeah, anyway, I've got like an entire. I'm only on page 110 out of like 2,000, so I do kind of need to speed up a little bit on these, which is another part of me like condensing and retemplating stuff now that I'm kind of getting into the groove of it. So the thing is that the next one is the same except R or P are reversed, which is why I figured I'd do a twofer, so that you can have them right next to each other whenever you look at it. And I'm even gonna put that in the note for anyone reading it, like, hey, this is why I did it this way for this one. Yeah. Had to stand up for a sec there. Move my chair forward. I've got a big pot of stoop I'm going to make tonight. So I don't know how long this is going to be since it's going to take me a couple hours of prep and then stooping to make the stoop. So I'm going to, like I said, interpret that as, well, first, let me get the sil, perm, sum, and then sil, perm, sum, just so that I can show that they're the same thing. Like again, just making. I'll cover this all in the notes that I'm making the point that these are the same. That sil that conjunction is the same thing, right? Like these are not different. These two things are not different. It's the same idea. It's just that the modern notation is what this is. Like that's the modern equivalent of the conjunction. The dot notation, which I prefer dot notation. The thing that really gate kept me, if you want to call it gatekeeping, out of Logic prior to reading Principia was like I couldn't make heads nor tails of any of the modern notation, and I found dot notation to be intuitive. I'm not sure. So I consult with like ChatGPT and Grok both on some stuff. Now the thing is that I've had to correct both on the errors they've made referring to dot notation. So, I understand that they can be wrong on stuff. I cross-check them against like, online resources and such. But I mean, they have been a great resource in and of themselves for helping me understand some of this stuff at least. Now, I want to see if that's the same thickness as the border because it should be. If it's not, we've got a problem. It's not. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, well, alright then. I guess I'll just scalp this and pretend that that's not an issue. I'll have to redo the freaking connectives that I've been using. That's gonna be a work in and of itself, huh? I guess it won't be that bad. I can just take two of these and snip them together, I guess. But that's still kind of bad. Um, anyway, this one is 237. Yeah. Okay. Um, page, not P Sage, page 110. Because I was thinking there for a second, like, do I? And yeah, I normally just leave them like that, and then that's why I box in the demonstrations, is to show that they're not the thing. So, and then page 110, so it's star 238, page 110. Yeah, and they are just one-liners. Kind of sounds bad because it makes it sound like I'm saying that they're like jokes, but They are just a single line with this. And like I said, I'm just interpreting it as they were put under them due to space issue, that they were meant to be on the right by the way that they're spaced. So, yeah. So let me go ahead and get into my note giving mode. 1 second. Note by me. Okay. I'll include below a pic I took on my phone, not my phone, on my phone, of these two theorems, as it's a little odd how the sil and perm and sum were added to these. You'll get what I mean, hopefully, when I say it looks like, not look, slike, looks like they were meant to be read as being on the right hand side of the theorems, but the folks doing the typography or whatever you call it ran out of room for that. So I figured I'd take this as an opportunity to do the first multi single stage, okay, multiple single line theorem graph in which you can see how these are interrelated. I'm not sure how often I'll do twofers or more or multiples of theorems in a single graph, but when it happens, this is what it'll look like. Another note to make is that this is the point at which I'm trying to condense a lot of the spatial real estate taken up by the templates I'm using. So if things look a lot tinier, it's due to that. Hopefully this will aid in acuity and comparisons, especially in the multi-theorem graphs. The other reason why I'm doing this, though, is that it helps to cut down marginally on production time of these graphs, as well as prepare for what I saw when I looked ahead, which is much more complex arrangements that will probably necessitate a much more compact means of displaying what is being rendered or translated. Not really sure what the right word for that is. But hey, whatever. You get what I mean, hopefully. I always want to add like a little, emoticon. Anyway, I'm probably going to go do that in a second, but this is sil, perm, and sum. So let's get sil, sum, sil, perm, and sum. Now, if you'll look here, the thing about, so if you look at sil, perm, and sum, right? The reason why it's sil and perm and sum. So look at what sum is. So sum is Q implies R, implies P or Q, implies P or R, right? And then perm is P or Q, implies Q or P, right? And then sil is Q implies R, implies P implies Q, implies P implies R. You see how these all roll together to prove 236 and 237? Right? Rather, 237 and, well, yeah, 237 and 238, but it also says right under it, the proofs of 237 and 38 are directly analogous to that of 236. Yeah. Um, anyway, I'm going to go take that pic on my phone and be right back. Okay, I'm going to once again make sure we're actually recording. Okay, cool. I have Elden Ring on there because I plan on doing Elden Ring stuff at some point on my Rumble gaming channel. If you're ever interested in that, whenever I have the time, whenever, the universe isn't taking a steaming dump on my head, which hopefully will be very soon. Hopefully, you know, I'll stop having, uh, in real life problems and, uh, you know, technical problems and stuff. Now, this might be a little jarring to see in one of these graphs, but I don't really care how anachronous it may seem. It's directly from the book for like a good reason. And also, this right here, I'm just gonna even put like, okay. Anyway, so as I put in that note, you can kind of see what's going on there. Oh, and I should add here that, okay, I think that's all the notes that need to be added for that. That's right there, ready to go. we have got 237 and 238 done. Now, I'm gonna change my mind on that. Move our little mascot over here. Okay. With that done, it's like a great weight was lifted off my shoulders with that. I'll just leave that up here. Um, Now then, I have some actual reading to do. The use of a general principle of deduction, such as either form of SIL, in a proof is different from the use of the particular premises to which the principle of deduction is applied. The principle of deduction gives the general rule according to which the inference is made, but is not itself a premise in the inference. If we treated it as a premise, we should need either it or some other general rule to enable us to infer the desired conclusion, and thus we should gradually acquire an increasing accumulation of premises without ever being able to make any inference. Thus, when a general rule is adduced in drawing an inference, as when we write SIL 1 and 2 and therefore prop, the mention of SIL is only required in order to remind the reader how the inference is drawn. The rule of inference may, however, also occur as one of the ordinary premises, that is to say, in the case of SIL, for example, the proposition P implies Q implies R implies P implies R, may be one of those to which our rules of deduction are applied, and it is then an ordinary premise. The distinction between the two uses principles of deduction. The distinction between the two uses of principles of deduction is of some philosophical importance, and in the above proofs we have indicated it by putting the rule in inference, of inference, in square brackets. It is, however, practically inconvenient to continue to distinguish in the manner of the reference. We shall therefore henceforth both adduce ordinary premises in square brackets where convenient, and adduce rules of inference, along with other propositions in asserted premises, i.e., we shall write example given, assertion 1 and 2 and SIL, therefore prop, rather than in square brackets SIL, assertion 1 and 2, therefore prop. Okay? For some reason, they really hated brackets. I don't know what that's about, but I can dig it. I'm not really a big fan of brackets either. So up next, we've got, honestly, so 2.4 or 240 and 241, right? Whatever you want to say about the previous pages, we go for the next, on page 111, halfway down, it starts with 240, and then the next two whole pages are nothing but theorems to finish out the chapter. And then we're on star 3, the logical product of two propositions, which I'll have to read myself, right? Because again, I said, and I did mean it, I'm not going to like reproduce the entire book. I'm just going after the starred propositions, and I'm not going to start at the summaries. I'm going to start at the actual start of the chapter, which is like in the instance of chapter 3, like star 3, it's not 114, which is the start of the summary of 3, but after the line on part 116 where it goes 301, 302, 303, 31, 311, 312. Now the interesting thing about this is that 3 is only, it seems, yeah, about 1 to 5 pages long, and then 4 looks to be about a good number of pages longer. Yeah, because 4 goes all the way up to 487. Meanwhile, 3 only seems to go up to. So 2 goes up to 286. 4 goes up to 87, I think I just said. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm not sure how far up 3 goes. 3 only goes up to 48. Okay. Well, at any rate, the thing is that whenever there's pages and pages and pages and pages of these, they typically seem to all be single line, or mostly single line, with the same schema, if you will, like the same shape, as I like to call it, with very few actual with very few actual like multi-line demonstrations, which is really handy. Which means that a lot of these, more than a couple of these, I might actually have in multi series. That's the other reason why I, with 237 and 38, figured I'd go ahead and do at least one little multi-graph thing, because 247 is not P or Q implies not P or Q, and then not P or Q implies P or not Q. You know, that's 247, 48. The 49 is not P or Q, implies not P or not Q. You get the idea? So, yeah. Now here's an interesting one: is how I'm going to have to handle the very long. I'm not sure what you'd call them, but the very long references on the stuck on the end of these. I'm almost tempted to just take a photo of the page and then just cut and paste them in. I might do that on a couple of them as a joke, but I mean, I'm not actually gonna do that. I'm gonna just type them out. But there's a couple of really long end ones. I'm definitely going to be using the logical conjunction, like the modern conjunction, instead of the dots, because it'll be a lot less. It'll take up more room, but it'll be a lot less confusing. I think it functions a lot better as a logical, like a very obvious logical connective in those. So I think I'll do that. But yeah, I should be able to blow through 47, 48, 49, like from 47 to 56 pretty smoothly. I don't think there's anything in this that's too bad. I mean, there's a couple of like, therefores, which kind of stink, but I can just bolt those on through the top. There's a couple of gnarly looking, but not actually gnarly when you read them, uh, extended demonstrations. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little weird. P or Q implies Q implies P implies Q. That's a little different. But again, I can just flip one of the templates for that. That's not a big deal. See, this is the part of the 283 isn't a bit much. P implies Q implies R implies P implies R. P implies R implies S implies P implies. Holy moly, that's a bit of a gnarly one. Yeah, and they did the same thing where the thing goes on so long that they have to bolt it onto the right hand side instead of having it be on the left. They have to like put it on the right side under it. But yeah, this will finish out. I'm very excited to finish out chapter 2 finally. I mean, sure, it took a while, but like, you know, as I get through the book, as I get more accustomed to doing this, and as I get more templates that are more compact, this will only get like simpler to do. So that's kind of the real development of what's going to be going on here. And I think I'm going to start with that templating adjustment pretty shortly with 2.4. I think with 2.4 this is where we're going to get into uh, we're not playing around anymore kind of territory. So if you want to know what that looks like, well, um, you're here, you're tuned in. The very first thing is that I'm going to take this little guy and I am going to remake a template from scratch, as terrifying as that sounds. I know I already had it copied, that's just my brain being my brain. What we're going to do here is make these as compact as humanly possible, the next few templates. So that's P or Q. Oh, what the hell? Ugh. Hold on. Sorry for cussing, but there's some kind of bug on my leg. Florida life. Okay, I actually hit start recording just to make sure it's recording. I just had the place sprayed for pests too, which makes that really suck. I don't know how that happens. I mean, again, I live in, a subtropical area, so it's not really that shocking that stuff still gets in, even if you literally just sprayed for, it just had your place sprayed, but, ugh, whatever. I went and got some tea in the interim. Okay, so I should probably have this typed out. So, and I'll do the as written for those two, but I'm going to stop doing the as written after the chapter uh, after 2, and I probably will stop doing it for most of these. Honestly, probably after I get through to 246. But anyway, 22A2, and then that's colon dot P dot 2228 dot P2228 Q colon 2283 dot P2228 Q. Demonstration for 2.4 as written. 22A2 dot 231 dot therefore colon dot P dot 2228 dot P2228 Q colon 2283 colon P2228 P dot uh 2228 Q. This is the one that I spotted yesterday as I was looking ahead that I realized I would need to make a special note for, because I'm almost certain that by almost certain I mean, and I am like, it's like the same certainty that the sun will rise tomorrow. Right? Like that's the kind of certainty we're talking about. Like, maybe there's some freak incident where uh you know I don't know, maybe there's some freak happening where the earth suddenly rotates the other direction and we go another 12 hours without, you know what I mean? Like it's so improbable that that isn't a typo. Um because that's just not how the notation in this book works. But taught and 238, 2283, colon P2228, Q colon dot, and then there's the therefore. 2283. I said 2283, 2282 dot prop. Okay. Copy. And I'm gonna have to like go actually. I mean, I just rubbed a antibacterial wipe on my leg, but I've got to go like actually wash that because, uh, you know, ugh. I just wanted to get right back to this. This is gonna take long enough as it is, you know. While I'm here, I guess I could. Oh right, I don't have to include the as written. It's right there. I'm so dim. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. um. Anyway, that's kind of embarrassing even that I had that thought. Now I'm gonna copy paste this little fella right here over in miscellany and delete this one. Okay, so that's P or Q implies. Okay, well let me get my. You know, it's so hard to like just go back to doing stuff as normal after you have a bug just drop on your leg out of nowhere. I mean, it wasn't like it was a big one, but you know, it's still very disturbing. It's not really easy to just whenever you're not used to that, you know, like it's not something I'm used to. It's I hope it's not something many people are used to. Um, and I can just copy paste the P or Q. Now, the problem is that I have to now box this. Honestly, I should have boxed it before I copy pasted it. So I'm going to rectify that mistake. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, copy, paste, turn it. This is why, by the way, just paste. I'm being a bit dim. Flip. This is why, by the way, I felt I needed to just go ahead and remake that. Um, is because I really want to be able to just take the stuff in the graph to reconfigure the graph. And yes, like I said, we're trying here to make this as compact as possible. So this is like also templating work that's being done, as I think I mentioned earlier, but this is like a template thing. Okay, so this would be right. So this would be its own thing. paste, flip. Honestly, I should have just taken this. Paste, flip, put that over there in preparation. See how much like more nice that is to look at? You get the idea now, like why I'm trying to do this. It makes it a lot cleaner. I mean, the reason why I had it all extended out before was basically a matter of not just it's not just like, how to put it. Well, first let me actually finish the graph before yammering so I don't make any more mistakes. Okay. All right. Now I need to go get these, obviously. Well, let me just go ahead and grab all of these. Paste, and then I'm going to do the cool thing of just 1374. Oh, that's not. I hate it whenever it does that. 1374. There we go. Dope. Now this is 1. Again, trying to compactify and tinyfy the whole thing. Just in case, and I probably will need those more, since again, I'm redoing the templating. You gotta remember that's what I'm about right here, is trying to redo these templates from scratch for the next meta chart update, so that whenever I save this meta chart, like the results of it, that I will effectively have a whole new like milestone in meta chart, like a whole new milestone meta chart where it's like, yes, this is the compact meta chart, not the one with whatever the large, overly spacious, like unreasonably spaced and spacious thingies. So let's go ahead and take this. Because again, I can't really stress enough that what I'm doing here is trying to make sure that these are faster to make so that the process goes faster, however marginally, and so that they're easier to understand whenever you look at them. Like they don't take as much visual processing effort to really parse. Like you can grasp it in one quick look. Like, oh yeah, okay, that's the thing. Little bite-sized chunky boxes rather than. Right, I need the assertion sign. I'm a bit dim on that one. I guess I should just copy paste that. Alrighty. Okay, so that's star to 4, aka star to 40, page 111. Not page 11, 111. Those are very different numbers. There we go. Now, copy paste this, and it's a new template in and of itself. Now, I'm almost certain I have something to this effect over here, but here's the real deal. This fits in between these. It's so compact. Like, you know, I'm genuinely very happy with that. And then obviously I need to get rid of this. That's a bit dim. Okay, so now the thing is that this right here alone is a very powerful template to have. Just that by itself is an incredibly useful template to have. I'm just going to shove it up here in the miscellany, even though it's like an incredibly important template. Uh, you know, it's so tiny it belongs in the miscellany. Because what I'm going to do next, this. So, the thing for this is, um, sorry if that sounded like crap. Just to make sure that the mic's still recording, right? Like, okay, good. So, the thing is, I forget exactly how I handled that in a prior... Because I know I handled it in a specific way. Hold on, I'm going to cut recording. I'm going to go look through my old graphs to see how I handled that. One sec. Okay, I'm not sure how loud that is, but I went to go wash my leg. And I figured I'd put on some royalty-free music. I don't know if you can hear that or not, or how loud it is, but I like it. Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't know how loud that's gonna be, but I'll have that as like a test thing. I just feel really silly with that in the background. This just makes me want to laugh. Okay, so... Okay, so I think I figured out how I'm gonna handle this. Because I handled it kind of differently in other previous... And I'm gonna make a note about that I'm still kind of working out how I'm gonna handle this. But we'll get through the therefore in a minute. I'm just going to do the thing normally, I think. Right? And honestly, this is another powerful one too that I should just keep. Again, probably in miscellany, but I'm gonna copy and paste it. Because I kind of need it here. Ah, my ear. Yeah, because that's kind of, it's gonna be ambiguous what I need there. Because I need this right here, actually, if you believe it. It would help if I kind of defined what I'm working with for my own stuff. P, Q, PQ. So that's P or Q. Just get that right out of it. Beer, got it, cheap. P or P or Q. Implies P or Q. Okay, so yeah, I really could have just used that. I'm being a bit dumb. Right. Right. Okay. This is what happens whenever you get a bug on your leg and you get all distracted. I should have read the shape of that right away and knew I wasn't making a whole new one. So that's P or Q implies P or Q. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out. Cut that out right now. My leg got it. My other leg. Yeah, see, I don't really know how to put this. The silly music isn't helping. I think what I want to do in the instances like this, and I've handled it a couple of different ways that all basically mean the same thing. But I think the way I want to handle this in particular yeah, I kind of hesitated to do it like this. But this seems like just the simplest way to do it. Because there's one or two ways I could do this. Yeah, I think the simplest way to do this would be to raise this up a bit so that it's not in the way of copy pasting. I love the silly music. I can't help but admit that. I again have no idea how it'll show up in recording, but for me it's kind of loud. Like, not loud, but like loud enough that it's distracting. Yeah, I kind of flubbed that a little bit. Or just okay. So the thing is that this is star 231. Now this is a unique one because before I did it as like different assertions. And I guess I could and should still do that. But I'm just trying out different ways of representing the same thing. Again, this is all about compaction. So like, this would warrant like a contextual usage of this. Right? Now the reason why that warrants a contextual usage of that is because if you're paying attention, now every little thing I feel, I'm worried I got another bug on my freaking leg. You don't know how hard it is for someone like me to not cuss. I have a bad problem with a foul mouth. I'm a recovering I don't know what you'd call that, like a profanity user. Okay, so the next one is not. I guess this would work, yeah. It's kind of odd how much this is coming in handy so soon. Except, in this one, we're going with another contextual usage of this. And now what we're going to have to try to smush in here is taught and 238. That's super handy, by the way. That's just... goodness. Now, I think you can see the problem with what we're trying to do here. Let's crack this open. I said, let's crack this open. I mean, if I wanted to go real dim, I'd try to cram these in there. I'm not sure that's doable or reasonable. I mean, I want to. I don't think that's gonna work. I think what will work is a little bit of cheeky in-house extension. I think that'll work. I think instead of making the box bigger, we can make more use of the space within it. Now, is this going to be stretched? Yeah. Okay. Alright, we did it. That's like when you gain 10 pounds, you try to sneak into your smaller stuff. Ugh. Okay, and that marks that, yes, it's the second half there that does it. I think we did it. Okay. You know, this is where I'll like... Again, I'm playing with the idea of just having that remain contextual. But for now, I don't want to do that. Like, I mean, it's still contextual. Like, you can see it's used contextually here, right? Like, it's still used contextually there. And it's used contextually here, and the proper way it is. It's just, I don't know about having it nest within itself contextually, if that makes sense. That feels like it might get a little too confusing. So for now, I'm going to leave it like that. But like I said, if I do change it, I'll make a note of it. No, that's not therefore, that's implies. So yeah. Rip. That's implies. I'm glad I caught that. But the weird thing is that just implies P or Q again. Oh yeah, right. Okay, well, oh, crap. Okay, well, that's alright. I do actually need to make a new template for this side of things. I'm glad I caught that. I just misread it. I'm so frazzled after having a bug on my leg. I hope you folks can understand. That, like, really threw me off. That's P or Q. Right, so it's this, but in reverse. Okay. Bonk. There we go. I love whenever I can make that pop noise. Okay, this is incorrect. So it's... Well, it is or Q. It's P or Q. So we can just get cheeky and just flip this guy for PvP. Oh, come on, stop that. Oof. Okay, yeah, that ain't gonna work one-to-one like I was hoping. Let's get this out of here. Put it on top of this. Extend this however far I need it to go. Okay, well, it's too far now. Whoever made this music is talented. I just want to say that. I really like it. I mean, I'm not saying that just because someone makes music I like, that means they're talented. You get what I mean, I hope. Like, they're talented and I like their music. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm the, you know, the arbiter of good taste. Just that I really like their music and I think they're talented. Okay. There, that makes significantly more sense, but this looks significantly worse. Ah! Okay. There we go. And now I have a new template because this is unto itself its own template. So I need to snip that because I'm going to need it later. Now I know I have one like it somewhere, right? Somewhere? Yes, actually yes. That is a template I'll move down here to sort of signal it's on its way out. This right here is just what I just showed. On its way out. Like, the fact that this fits right where that was is frightening, isn't it? Like, just the space efficiency. We're talking about real progress in method, right? This is the stuff that makes You know, it seems like it's not that big of a deal to shave a couple of seconds or maybe even half a minute off of, like, construction time, but it adds up whenever you're going to be making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the things. If you want to get a case of cosmic, like, existential angst, look up how many seconds there are in a week, and then realize just how bleak that is. That's, like, the scariest stuff. Okay, so what we've got here is P or Q implies P or Q, and that implies P or Q. Right? Yeah, that just simply implies P or Q. Excellent. Well, we have that, so let's grab that. I love the silly music. It's doing a lot for me, I gotta say. And knowing it's royalty free is the best. Like, I'm not going to get copyright claimed or whatever. I wish I could be blasting Mega Drive 1980X, but I feel like I would get copyright claimed, and I don't want that. Okay. So now I need this and 3. I'll just, like, leave that over there in case I need it again. And then before I forget, that implies that, and I also need to readjust this. And I also need to readjust this. Ugh. My head got itchy. Ugh. Paste. Yes! Success! Excellent. Yeah, and that's it. Okay. The thing is that the next one is literally this with the stuff rearranged. So, yeah, okay. I just had to take a second to process that. Like, okay, this is what I mean whenever I talk about templating, right? Like, once I get enough templates, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like having enough just ready-made cookie cutter, like, shapes where I could just bake all of these real quick, like. Okay, I need to move this up just a tad, just a tiny bit. Okay, well, I should start from the top corners, since that's the width determinant for this one. Oh, you know, while I was gone, in the break, the thought occurred to me just how stupid it is for a bug to get on a person, and it reminded me of this, Shinji Ito, the guy who did Hellstar Remina, and, what was the other really good one? Oh, well, you know, you've probably seen the meme of "This Hole Was Made For Me," the mystery of the whatever mountain story, or, the really awful one was the, like, 100-something army. Like the every person army, whatever. But Shinji Ito, here, I'll just put his name up. Shinji Ito, Hellstar Remina. Horror manga guy. Him. Well, one of his stories that I really liked, like better than Hellstar Remina even, was, and that's a really good one. That one's really good. But one that I really liked by him was this one where there's like this honey that these people eat, and they're not really sure like what's going on with it, but it's said that like if you eat it where someone can see you or something like that, like if you eat it where you can be seen, something terrible will happen to you. And the first guy eats it, and he gets flattened against a wall. Like, it's very visceral, so if you're sensitive to that kind of media, don't go look it up. But like, he gets actually flattened, like just splattered against the wall in front of these other people, and they all start freaking out, like, what on earth was that, right? And the thing about the honey is that it's addictive, right? It's got it's Lovecraftian in nature, so it's this, like, you know, alien, you know, Cthulhu honey that you just can't resist trying like a taste of it. And then once you try it, it's addictive. You know, it's like as addictive as any drug. It just makes you want more of it. And specifically, nothing else tastes as good as it. Like, once you taste it, everything else tastes bad, basically. And the thing is that this honey comes from a specific kind of tree. It's like, not even really honey, it's like sap, right? Like, it's called honey, but it's more like a nectar that comes from the, or like I said, like a sap, almost like if maple syrup came from the tree, like how you get it in the bottle kind of thing. And it turns out that this tree is like a Lovecraftian tree, right? It's like an interdimensional alien tree that you can only access by going into the deepest reaches of this hidden place in the Amazon or whatever. And the reason why these people are getting swatted is because this is like a sapient tree, like it's an intelligent tree. You know, it's an alien intelligence, like the I forget what the, like the great race of Ur or whatever they're called, the Yith, yeah. In case you don't understand what I'm talking about, they are called literally because they named themselves this. From the Lovecraft mythos. They're kind of like those guys, but in the sense that they're an alien intelligence. Like, you're never going to understand what they're thinking. Like, it's that kind of thing. Or, you know, the race that built the great plane of Lung or whatever. Like, you're not going to be able to understand what this thing's perspective is, but it is sapient. And the thing is that it has these interdimensional, like, flappers, like these fly swatters, that it can literally teleport anywhere to reach out and swat something that offended it, basically. So if it knows that you stole from it, and it can somehow sense that anywhere in the universe, it can teleport one of these swatters and just flatten you with the force of, like, you know, like a car crusher, like just, or like a, you know, like a steel wall traveling at a ridiculous speed, just flattening you. I don't know. But the reason why I bring all that up is because that's what it makes me think of, like, from the perspective of a bug landing on a human. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of madness is overtaking you that you think that's a good idea, pal? Just, you know, like this unimaginably alien, you know, large, vengeful thing that can just flatten you for daring to touch it. Like, why get on that thing? You'd think enough of them would have died in this process of millions and millions of years that bugs getting on people's legs wouldn't be a thing that would ever happen, right? Anyway, I also just wanted to share that because that's like one of my favorite of his, and I only found that, you know, Hellstar Remina and obviously the mystery of the holes of whatever mountain, like those are the two most well-known ones, and I only found that one like after digging through a lot of his stuff that was publicly available, like, you know, because, you know, I'm not really sure where even to buy his stuff and translate it into English, though I would if I could. But yeah, that was like a really good one. Just the whole atmosphere of it and stuff. Also, I really like the idea of an alien angry tree for some reason. It's kind of like the goofy music in the background. It just has like this weird goofy component to it. Anyway, so just to check this again. Oh yeah, I have to make that note. Also, I have to provide tautology. Right. I mean, tautology is kind of simple. It's just like P is identical to P or something like that. Yeah, P or P implies P, which is 1 star 1 2. P. Wrong one. Or P. I mean, I have to imagine it's a wrong one. I mean, honestly, the fact that there's been so few typos so far in the book. What? How did I do that? My elbow touched something in it. Wow, function and left arrow does that. That's wild. Am I still recording? Okay, yeah, wow. I did not know the function and left arrow did that on my... Wow, alright. I don't know how my elbow hit both, though. So that's P or P implies P, yes. So the reason why star 1.1 isn't a thing is because, if I remember right, it's just something said. Some of these asterisks aren't actually, like, symbolic. Like, they're written, which... Back of my head got itchy. Which, you know, is what it is. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, star 111, star 1.1 is anything implied by a true elementary proposition is true. And then star 111 is where, phi x can, that's phi x can be asserted where x is a real variable. And phi x implies psi x can be asserted where x is a real variable, and psi x can be asserted where x is a real variable. Which that's getting into like stuff that you need to read the introduction to understand, like I did. It took me 3 weeks to get through that with competency, and I'm like, it's one of those things where if you doubt what you understand and you go back and read it, you can actually undo what you do. So, like, or at least in my instance, that's how it works. So I try not to go back and read that unless, like, I'm absolutely certain that I've come across something that I don't understand. I like to call that, like... I forget the term exactly that I used for it the first time I understood what that meant, but it's kind of like how if you, Hold on. Ugh. It's kind of like how if you, like if you finish chiseling a statue, and then you start, like, chiseling at it to just re-examine it, to be like, okay, well maybe I should, it's destructive. It's like destructive analysis. Yeah, and 241 is basically just the same thing. So let me make sure I got this right. P or Q. I got it wrong right off the bat. Wow, alright, cool. This is why I review these things. So P or Q implies P or Q. And then 231, therefore P or Q implies P or Q, which that plus taught and 238. And yeah, you get the idea. Implies P or Q. Alright, excellent. Fantastic. That's it wrapped up, but I need to supply tautology. Save. I'm sure star 1.3 will come around soon enough. Just put that over there, copy and then paste it over here into the litany. I don't like that that's off center. I probably should just go hunt down and write out star 1. Yeah, I should. I can see star 1.3 on the same freaking page. Let me go ahead. Hunt down star 1.3. Star 1.3. Lucky contestant star 1.3. Where are you at? Add. Okay, that's Q implies P or Q. Q implies P or Q. Okay, that's the basics right there. Let's go ahead and finish adding these. And that should be all of the basic ones for now. That list is going to grow very long, by the way, by the end of it. I don't think I should have to include 238, since it's just on the prior one. Okay, and then I have to make my note about that weird, about how I'm representing the, therefore on the first line, and the, initial therefore, and also, I forgot what I was going to say, and I'm not going to fish around for it in my noggin. Just to restate it, I'm going to add the notes for those two things. That weirdness right there. It isn't ooh confusing. Okay. Alright, now that we've got that done. Excellent. Okay. Well, you know, I'm feeling really good about that. This has kind of been a long-ish one, you know? Again, because we're doing templating, and this is going to continue through the book. Like, whenever I hit a spot where I'm like, okay, I gotta do a new template. Like, you know. It's gonna take a minute. One thing I want to do first before I go is just copy paste this. Cut that. Disassemble this a bit. Not that bad. I also just kind of want to end this so I can see how the music in the background came out, because I want to see what the proper volume level for that is. Because I think I'll keep it around. I like it. I mean, it may not be the same royalty-free song every time, but it might be. I really have a soft spot for this song. Okay, so this is like, so it's P, so it's Q or P or Q. Ah, my ear's getting itchy. So this is kind of what I mean whenever I say that once we get enough templates going, this is going to be self-assembling almost. Does Q or P implies P or Q. Now the reason why I had to bump that off is because this does not have an imply. This does not have a therefore. This will need to be adjusted. Because what's actually happened here is there is a normal justification, like a normal. That's what I like to call them. I don't know what they're actually called, so don't at me, or do at me, whatever. You know. The point is like I don't know what they're actually supposed to be called, but this is a normal like pre-assertion attachment. Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. So that's Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. I am just double and triple checking because, again, I don't want mistakes in this, you know. I love this music. I can't get over how much I love this jaunty tune. Maybe I can find some good elevator music. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, and see the thing here is that this is also Q or P or Q. Implies P or, oh see here we go, P or, so let's like see if I can be super cheeky with this and flip it. Yeah, see that's kind of the other thing, like look at that. Wow, did that actually, because it's hold on. That's the wrong one, isn't it? No, it's not. That's Q or P or Q. P or Q or Q. Wow. I love that. See what I mean? So that's P or Q. So that's... Oh, well, I bungled that. Yeah, that's supposed to be P or Q. I don't know why in my dented head I thought that was right. That's no, it is Q or Q. What the heck? I'm reading the wrong lines. Again, I have trouble with keeping track of rows. Speaking of my dented head, so that's Q or P or Q implies P or Q. And then down here, the thing that's different is that it's just going to be taught and sum, so we can just tear down this whole structure, put this outside somewhere, take it outside, line this up. That is lined up, yes, okay. And I guess I'll just take it from the top. There we go. Yeah, and it's still just P or Q, implies P or Q. Just do that, then do it again. Move this over again. You see, like how cool that is to just be able to go, yeah, yeah. To just be like, yeah, 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 alright. Just take the thing and reimagine it for the next one. Ah, I can't believe I was barely off. Hold on. The way you fix that is... should be the same height. I don't know why, the height changed on the bottom. Did it? It looked like it did. Wow, I guess that's just me being, wow, okay. Just bad at seeing stuff, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like that didn't look aligned to me for some reason. Wow, okay. Okay, well. The beautiful thing is that I can just shove this up. There we go. Look at that. Ah, crud. I am dim. No, hold on. Well, I can fix that, I guess. Because I forgot that the reason why I needed the other one is that... okay. So, hold on. Yeah, I'll stop being lazy. I screwed up. I still needed that. Yeah, I still needed that right there. Yeah, I'm dim. I still needed that. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Yeah. Such is life. Okay, well, whatever. That should be aligned, right? Well, I guess I better hope it is. Yeah, okay, it is. I didn't actually want that to zoom in there, but it did, and I found it useful anyway. What a happy accident. Yeah, because that still has the logical connective. Like, that's still connected to the last one, so it still needs that, like... Anyway, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an easy fix. Yeah, now why is that single pixel? Ugh, okay, whatever. So, gonna have to review this. That is Q or... So for the top, that's Q or P or Q. Implies P or Q. Right? And then associative Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I guess that's the one thing that I should have done. That's a little dim. Hold on. I don't know how I just realized that. Move that up a tad, scrunch that up. Ah, my ear. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's automatically releasing that, but that's bothering me that it keeps doing that, because I definitely don't want it to do that just because I use my scroll wheel. Now, let's make this pretty the rest of the way. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Associative Q over P, P over Q, Q over R, and then Q or P or Q implies P or Q, and then taught and sum plus the second half of that implies P or Q. Yeah, okay, excellent. See? Now the thing that does kind of stink is that we gotta go grab associative, sum, and tautology, but that's not that big of a deal. Associative and sum. Tautology. That's about it. Ow, my ear, darn it. Hold on. Again, I believe I am legally obligated to tell you not to put Q-tips in your ears, but I'm doing that right now myself. I know it's stupid, you shouldn't do that, yada yada, I don't really care. I'm a grown man, I'm legally allowed to, you know, abuse Q-tips if I want to. Just also, I believe, legally obligated to tell you not to do that. You know, I'm shocked they haven't made it illegal for, like, people interpersonally to recommend smoking or drinking. Like, I'm shocked that it's not, like, an illegal activity to recommend that, like, that you can't be sued for that. You would think how litigious, like, a lot of the world is, especially in, like, how litigious people in America can be, you know, that there would be laws on the books, or at least case law against that already. There probably is, and I just don't know about it. I'm not like a lawyer, you know, so I genuinely don't know. If you or a loved one know about that, please contact me at my email address and let me know how, you know, that works. So that I'll know to, well, I don't drink or smoke, but, you know, so that I can tell people not to. I mean, I already do. Don't do any of that. It's not good for you. But so that I can tell people not to recommend it to people either. Because, I mean, you know, it's one thing to tell people not to do something, it's another to tell people not to recommend people to do something. Anyway, so yeah, that's totally fine, right? Just one more check. Q or P or Q implies P or Q. Q over P, P over Q, Q over R, Q or P or Q implies P or Q or Q. That and taught and sum imply P or Q. Yep. Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. Okay, now let's do... So it should be Q or P or Q implies P or Q. Q over P, P over Q, Q over R. Q or P or Q implies P or... Q or P or Q implies P or Q or Q. That's Q or P or Q now. Alright, well, we're almost done for this session. Delightfully short for now. The next session I'm going to try to power through to the end of this chapter, which will be 2 whole pages of just graph making, and then once I get to the beginning of star 3, I'm going to read the summary in my own time, and once I'm sure I grasp what they're trying to get out there, then we'll start with a new session. Like I said, you know, I'm not going to record necessarily all of the graphs that I make, but I'm warming up to the idea of doing it for more of them than I thought originally whenever I started recording these, if for nothing else than to, you know, have it available on YouTube. Like, something that people can maybe throw on in the background if they want some guy yammering about Q or P or Q or Q or R or P or S or Q or whatever. You'll have some funny dreams if you do that, I'll tell you that much. I can't even... You'll have alphabet soup dreams. Yeah! Ah, that's awful. Okay. Here we go. Alright, well, I'm gonna get these, saved. It's also still kind of awful. Hold on. One thing though, I want to tinify this Just so it's not like larger than the body of the text. I think I should just tinyfy it in general. Ditto for this. Absolutely for this. Wow. Okay, move this up. Okay, well I'm gonna save this as a new meta chart, and once I'm done with that, I may or may not save these graphs independently. I'm feeling a lot better now than I did at the start. Okay, well, and I seriously this time am going to actually get this thrown into OpenShot and processed whenever I go to bed tonight, instead of having to dump multiple episodes at once after letting my computer just sit and fry for a day. Alright, well, I don't really have anything else I want to say. No, like, extra yammering on this time, other than I need to remember to actually put the text denoting what page and what, yeah. 241, page 111. Just making sure I got the stuff right for the other one. Okay. Alright, well that's good progress. I mean, that's 4 of them, and new templates done, which is good. I mean, again, whenever I get into high gear and I start like pumping these out, templated and everything, it's going to be a bit of a different experience. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to sit down and fly through a lot of the Star 3, like Chapter 3 stuff. One that'll be trouble is Star 303, because that's where you start getting, so like Star 303, the text for it is given two asserted elementary propositional functions, phi p and psi p, whose arguments are elementary propositions. We have phi p and psi p. The demonstration is star 1, 7, and 72, which I don't remember there being a star 1, 7. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that's why I don't remember them, is that they're text-based. So if P is an elementary proposition, not P is an elementary proposition. And star 172 is if phi p and psi p are elementary propositional functions which take elementary propositions as arguments. Phi p or psi p is an elementary propositional function. Okay. And it's given two asserted elementary propositional functions, phi p and psi p, whose arguments are elementary propositions. We have phi p and psi p. I mean, yeah. So star 17 and 172 and 211, so star 211. Therefore, not phi p or psi p or not p or psi p. Okay. And then given 1 and 232 and 101, therefore, the 1 being like the thing I just read. Therefore, phi p implies, psi p implies not phi p or psi p, which is 2. And then given 2 and star 303. Given 2 and star 303, that seems like a bit of a cheaty face move to include star 303 in the demonstration of star 303, but okay. given 2, like in parentheses, and star 303, therefore phi p implies psi p implies phi p and psi p. Okay. Yeah, alright. I mean, I get that. It's just a little goofy how they wrote that. But the reason why that's going to be a little bit of a problem is that that's involving, you know, yeah, that's involving special characters, which is going to be an increasing problem as I go through the book. Now, special characters don't start becoming a real presence until, if I remember right, like 9? Now, I remind you, the book skips straight from 5 to 9. There is no 6, 7, or 8. Yeah, special characters don't start showing up again until 9. Because that's whenever they're getting into the extension of the theory of deduction, which seems to be about, like 901 is not there is an x for phi x is identical, there exists an x for not phi x. And the 902 is not exists an x phi x is identical to x for, yeah, x always not phi x. Yeah, that's where we're getting into real variables and stuff that I'm excited to get into, because this is the next leg up. And it starts flexing some stuff that I was worried I got a little bit rusty on since I've spent so long graphing just star 2. But, yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for listening to me yammering on, if you did, at the tail end of this. I'm just looking ahead and just kind of getting an idea of what I'm going to be dealing with. You know, this is going to take a long time. Like, I understand that. It's going to take a while. Like, a while. And the further into it I go, the more special characters there are, and the more goofy it's going to get. Like, I don't even know what the up arrow means, but by the time I get 170 pages ahead, it's gonna be at 35,891, where it's E exclamation point beta or not E exclamation point alpha implies in parentheses A up arrow beta, like alpha up arrow beta, and then there's a dividing line. It's just it's gonna get to the point where I have to type this stuff out in Notepad and then type it on the thingy, like then copy paste it on the thingy. But anyway, let's turn the music off for a minute. Alright. So yeah, thanks for watching this one, and be back in a bit. Hopefully that recorded everything and there's no unexplained or weird mic drops or absences or whatever.